Welcome to Scented Pages. Hello, welcome back to my channel, baby. I read another book, it was a paranormal thriller, and honestly, had I known and paid attention to the blurb, because it's mentioned in the about when it's what's about the book, that it's a paranormal thriller, but I guess I just missed it, didn't pay it no mind. Honey, had I paid it some mind, I would not have read it. Not my cup of tea. But I didn't know, so I went in blind pretty much. And I did finish it. But before we get into the book, oh my god, look at this bottle. It's gorgeous. Beautiful. This is Animal Seduction. Round, right? Raw. Not the Animal Seduction. And this is my second perfume by this line, by Animal. The first one, I have it in the house. I didn't want to use that one for a video because it's not for right now. That scent is such a heavy fall scent. It was released in 1987, the first one. It was released in 87, and it smells like it was released in 87. It's definitely giving wintertime, white diamondsy. It smells beautiful. I love it, but it's just not how I want to smell right now in the summertime. I'm feeling light and fruity, but this one is definitely light and fruity. This is a flanker of it. Animal Seduction. Look at that. The bottle is just, I love rose gold, and that is so pretty. So this was released in 2019. I actually pulled up the notes because last video I forgot to do my perfume and I was pissed about it. So this time I made sure to get it right. Okay, so Animal Seduction's main accords are fruity, sweet, rose, aromatic, citrus, green, and soft spicy. And it's definitely so it smells so good. It definitely has that spice to it, but like a light summertime spiciness that you like. So its top notes are raspberry, cassis, grapefruit. Middle notes are rose, tuberose, and jasmine. And its base notes are praline, patchouli, and amber. And I love it. It's beautiful. I love the way this works out. Even its opening is beautiful. And then when it dries down, it's amazing. I love it. So it's Animal Seduction. Now, back to this book, because I was just a little blown. And so I gave it a 3 stars. 3 stars. Because, okay, well, first of all, not only do I have a kind of a hard time suspending my, what is it? I guess I should look up what it is. This is suspending my disbelief or suspending my belief. Suspending my disbelief for like ghosts and possession and that type of thing. It's really unbelievable to me. And because it's super unbelievable, it doesn't scare me or anything. I just don't believe in it. Because it's so unbelievable, it makes the book unbelievable. And now I feel like I wasted my time. And unless I go in to something knowing that it is fantasy or something where, or it is paranormal or whatever, unless I go into it knowing, which I probably would never do, but then I could be a little more prepared for it and maybe enjoy it a little bit more. But most of the time it's not my thing. But I ended up reading, what was it? I didn't write down the title of the book. It was called, oh my goodness. I didn't even write down the title of the book. Oh, Murder Road. It was called Murder Road. And let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna look up the title. Not the title, the author. I can't believe I didn't do that. It's by I think her name is Simone St. James. Murder Road. Yes, by Simone St. James. So it was a good book. The story, it read juicy and good, and it made you want to, keep being engaged in it and all. Hold on, let me show you the cover so that you can see what it looks like. But like I said, for me personally, here's the cover. If you can see it in the sun, I don't know if you can see it. I'll put it in the thumbnail or so. So I borrowed it from the library on my Libby app and listened to it. And it starts off with this couple named April and Eddie, and they have just got married. They are on their way fresh to their honeymoon, honey. But on their way, oh my God, I hate those kind of bugs. I don't know what these daggone bugs are called. My son told me what they're called, but I don't like them. They look new. They look like a new bug. I don't remember growing up and seeing these bugs. These bugs they've like got white polka dots on them or something. What are they called? I don't like them. Go away. Go away. So, April and Eddie, they just got married. They're on their way to their honeymoon, and along the way, on the side of the road, they see this girl walking, and so that's alarming to them. So they're like, are you okay? Do you need help? Come on, get in the car or whatever. We can ride you to drop you off somewhere or get you off of this road at least. So she gets in the car, honey. I'd have left her right there on the side of the road, and I'd have did something other than have that stranger get in my car. Because at first, they didn't recognize if she was a guy or what. But then as they got closer to her and she got a little more visible and a little clearer, they could see that it was clearly a woman. But my whole thing is, it could be a setup. It could be, somebody after her, like, in which it was. So they let her in the car, and when they get a good look at her, they notice that she's bleeding profusely. Like, her jacket that she had wrapped around her is like soaked with blood. So of course they begin to panic, and they immediately take her to the hospital. They take her to the hospital. They drop her off there. They're covered in her blood because she was bleeding so much in their car. And they take her to the hospital, and she ends up dying. The police show up and immediately blame them for her murder. Now, mind you, this is in a town that they have never been to. They are just passing through this town on their way to their little honeymoon resort. So this is a real monkey wrench in their plans. So now there are prime suspects in this girl's murder. What's her name? I almost called her Angie. April and Eddie. So they get to the hospital. The police accuse them of the girl's murder, and they try to pin it on them. And my whole thing is with the police, the whole police department was really a waste. They were terrible. Because why would a person or a couple or anybody murder a girl and then bring her to the hospital and then wait for the police to show up? But they was the ones who killed her. Why wouldn't they just kill her and leave her on the side of the road or something? The police treated them immediately like they were the first and only and most important and greatest suspects of all time. Whole time, these murders have been happening in this town for like 20 years. Unsolved murders along this road, Murder Road. It's called Atticus Lane. So um this couple decides to stay to help solve this case, to absolve themselves of this murder. Um, okay, so back to what I was saying about how I left her on the side of the road. I feel like there was something that they could have done other than putting her in the car. I feel like they could have called the police and said, hey, there's a girl that's walking on the side of the road. Can you send somebody out to make sure that she's okay? Blah, 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 blah. But instead, they put her in her car, and now they're all wrapped up in this whole murder investigation and murder mystery. The police show up and they immediately put it on this couple. So they get comfy in this little town to try to solve this murder. The girl's name, I think it was Rhonda Jean, something country. I think it was Rhonda Jean. So they enlist the help of these two local teenage girls, children, is who they decide to get to help them to solve this murder. So these girls fill them all in about everything about their, this murder road and what has happened over the years on this Atticus Lane or whatever, and how far these murders go back, of just people who have been hitchhiking along the road, people who don't really have like anybody who will be looking out for them, prostitutes and people like that, like the castaways or whatever. So nobody has really been solving these murders, which is really effed up. So the story goes on. They're in this town trying to solve this murder. Honey, long story short, what it is Atticus Lane is pretty much being haunted by the first girl who was murdered on that street. And her name was Shannon. And how she ties into everything is she is the birth mother of Eddie, the girl's husband, the main character, one of the main characters. She's his birth mother. She gave him up. No, she didn't give him up for adoption. I forget what. I think he got adopted after she was murdered. Yeah, she didn't give him up for adoption first. He got adopted after she was murdered. He was adopted when he was like 8. But he completely forgot about her, like completely forgot about what she looked like, had no idea, couldn't recall her at all. That irritated me too, because what 8-year-old just completely forgets his mother? Like, you were 8. That's a big age to just have no memory at all of your mother, and that aggravated my soul. So it's his mother who has been like possessing people to kill these hitchhikers and whatnot, because she's pissed because she was the first girl to get murdered, and how she got murdered was her father actually murdered her. She had ran away. She was going through some problems. She was like being a deadbeat mother and getting into drugs and stuff like that. She had ran away, and she called her father. She was like, I'm ready to get my life together. Can you come pick me up from Atticus Lane or whatever? And when he got there, then she changed up, and she was like, no, I'm not going back with you. I changed my mind. I want to go and live my best life and just pull off and do drugs and be the worst. And he got mad at her, and like they began to tussle with one another, and in the tussle, he accidentally killed her and buried her and left her there. Your daughter? Honey, the fact that everything all tied down to this ghost possessing people and causing all of these murders, it was just so unbelievably stupid to me. I couldn't do anything but laugh. I mean, it's just not my cup of tea. It's just not my thing, I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars for that. Let me read you what I wrote on my Goodreads review. Hopefully I can get to it on here. Hopefully my account is still on. I can read you my review. But yeah, I mean, it was good. I really liked the characters. I liked the story. I just cannot get behind everything being caused by a ghost. Honey, make it make sense. At the end of the day, make it make sense. And it doesn't make sense. Oh my goodness. This thing is not gonna let me, it's giving me a whole bunch of rigmarole about just signing into my daggone Goodreads. Hold on, I want to read the Goodreads. Now I know how to do a little bit of something. I think I'm grown. Wait a minute, I'm gonna get my Goodreads review and get back with you. Okay, so I'm back with my full review from what I said from on Goodreads. I gave it 3 stars, of course, I already said that. But I said I gave this book 3 stars because of the paranormal aspect of it. Had I known it was a paranormal thriller, I would not have read it. But I still enjoyed the book. I don't believe in ghosts, etc. So it's hard for me to enjoy a book with ghosts or spirits in it. It seems unbelievable, and I feel like it's a waste of my time. I didn't like... I also didn't like the stupid, inefficient police department in this book. They were the most idiotic bunch of buffoons I've ever read. Detective Quentin was the worst. Very annoying. I couldn't understand why he just immediately insisted that April and Eddie were prime suspects in these murders just because they had brought the dead girl in. I mean, I understand that it could be a ruse to cover up that they really did do the murder. Like, oh, let's just take her to the hospital. Nobody suspected it's us. But, like, not really. Like, come on. He didn't have to be that much of a dick to them. I said, what couple is going to murder a girl and then drive her to the hospital and wait for the police to show up? Yet, despite this, Detective Quentin was a first-class prick. I don't want to sue the police department for pain and suffering. I said, I liked April and Eddie, though I couldn't understand why they would choose to stay to solve this case. I mean, now, after, I think about everything, I see why they would want to, of course, why they felt like they had to stay and solve the case, because they were being accused of a daggone murder. But they took it into their own hands with these little girls. Honey, I understand now after but initially and through most of the book, I thought it was the most asinine thing ever. They should have never picked that girl up in the first place. I wouldn't have. They should have called the police and kept it moving. Instead, they got all wrapped up in an almost 20-year-old murder mystery with ghosts and shit. I also liked that it was set in the 90s. That's right, because it was set in like 1995. And that was, the time that I was growing up in. I wish that it could have mentioned a little more 90s nostalgic things. I think that the book mentioned something about somebody having on a Nirvana or a Kurt Cobain t-shirt or something, but that was pretty much it. I liked how the original case ended up being connected to Eddie. I just wish that it wasn't her ghost doing these things. And now her ghost is a murderer. Like, she wasn't a murderer in real life. Why is she a murderer as a ghost? 3 stars. 3 of them. Yes. Because I can't. So yeah, that's that. I'm done talking about Murder Road by Simone St. James. It was good. I liked it overall. So if it's your cup of tea, if that's your thing, if you like paranormal, then you will probably enjoy this book because it was a good book. I just didn't like the paranormal stuff. So, all right, I'll see you next time. Toodles. I'll be back in a couple days when I get done my hair. Like, I'm smack dab in the middle of doing my hair. Honey, look at the back. When I come back, when I'm done doing my hair, when it's all finished, then I'll show you my library haul, what I got from the library the other day. All the single ladies, all the single ladies. That's what I like about this, my neighborhood, like this part of when I'm out here, sometimes my neighbor, he puts on his music and I can hear it through here, and he's always got the jams on. He's always playing the good oldies, and that's fun. All right, see you.